going to go ahead and get started. So from 9 to 9:30 here, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the parent communication plan for next year and what you as teachers, some of the skills that you can be mastering on Schoology in order to be kind of aligned with our vision or aligned with that parent communication plan. Please make sure if you haven't that you get signed in on MLP, like on the web, and get signed in on the paper over here before you guys leave. At 9:30 or before 9:30, we'll be wrapped up, and this is a Thursday work day. So if you want to just stay and continue to work on some things we've talked about or work on something else, you certainly can. You get points for however long you spend with us this morning working on something. But if you're just here from 9 to 9:30 and then you're out, that's great too. Okay, so I passed out these sheets to everyone, and I want you to look on the back side, and the color came out kind of weird. It's kind of green. But this is what's referred to as the Schoology Parent Email Digest. And it's kind of the idea of this is what got the Schoology Parent Communication Plan kind of rolling last year. Because what this email digest is an email that will go out to district parents who have connected themselves with Schoology on either a daily or weekly basis. They're defaulted into getting it daily. They can opt to change to get it weekly. But this is going to be a very powerful communication tool with parents once they get signed up and connected to it. So I'm going to walk you through the pieces of the email digest that parents will be getting so you can kind of see how you can contribute to them. And then on the other side, I'll just touch on some of these things, which are the different pieces of Schoology interaction that you can be doing in order to post the email digest items. Okay? So looking at the email digest and running through it, up at the top, it does have the student's name. And another thing is if parents have 4 students in the district, so let's say, a kid in elementary school, a kid in middle school, and 2 kids at the high school, all of their kids are going to come in one email. So they're not getting 4 separate emails per kid. So that's nice too. And that's something that we got feedback from parents on over the past couple of years, was it was just getting increasingly difficult because, teachers all had their own different ways of communicating, which is great. Like some would use the Remind texting system. Some would send Power School emails. Some would use a separate website or something of their own that they had found. But it was just hard, especially with multiple kids in a district, to keep track of where to go to get different pieces of information. So we're hoping this can streamline that and make it easier for parents because all kids' information coming in one email either every day or every week. So up at the top is just the kid's name so they can keep track of which kid they're looking at when. And then there's a course summary. And the course summary is just their different courses in Schoology. It has grade and attendance there. Really, we're not, the grade in Schoology is not the official grade. The official grades are still in Power School, and we don't take attendance in Schoology. So for the most part, parents they'll see those little dashes there. There won't be information. However, if they see or want to know something about like Mr. Collins here, technical writing, those are hyperlinks, so they can click on those within the email and be pushed into that course in Schoology. If they choose, if they don't want to, that's just information on what courses their child is enrolled in. But the hyperlink feature is kind of nice. Okay, underneath that is overdue submissions, and those are only overdue submissions within Schoology. So obviously not everything that every teacher assigns is in Schoology. So if parents ever have questions about that, if there is something there that their child hasn't turned in, or if they know their child hasn't turned in something and it's not showing up on there might be questions that come to you about that. But really it's communication about if something was due on Schoology and they didn't turn it in, students didn't, parents are going to be notified about that in that email. Okay, then underneath that we get into some of the really good stuff. There's an upcoming section, and this is pulling all calendar events for both courses and for the school building. So they're getting, once again, all of that in one spot. So let's say, at Logan, the principal posts something, an announcement on the building about an upcoming event. And then a teacher in Logan has something that they share about with the parent. Both of those are going to be showing here. And this is an example of the high school. You're kind of getting a high school idea. So anything that has been posted to the high school's calendar or course calendar is showing up here. It tells you where the different events are. So here, this was an example of bowling. It tells you Seaman High School. But down here, this last one, it says event important test, and it's coming from just my course example when I was playing around with this. But if it was like biology, it would list biology there. So parents are seeing what the event is and either the class it's associated with or the building. So as long as everyone starts posting, calendar events to your calendar in Schoology, and I'll show you where you do that, and principals and secretaries continue to post to their buildings, all of those calendar events, those daily things that you'd want parents to know about, will come in this email to them. And they'll stay on there. Notice it's upcoming. It's not just that day. It's kind of the next couple days out so they know what's coming up. Okay, then underneath that, the other kind of really important section is the recent activity. So what this is pulling are any updates that are posted to Schoology. So you can have both calendar events that you post and updates. So for example, Seaman High School posts their bulletin on Schoology every day. So you can see here the bulletin information is coming through to the parents, so they don't have to go on the website to try to find it or go anywhere else. It'll just be emailed to them every single day. And same thing with the calendar. If teachers post any updates, some informational items on something that their child can be working on, or maybe you find a great article you would want to share with parents, whatever it might be, if you post that update here, parents will get that as well. So building, class information, all in one spot. So that's the Parent Email Digest, a really cool communication tool that we can all start contributing to. Questions so far? Because I'm going to dive in and show you then how to contribute to these different pieces. Okay, so let's flip to kind of the grid page, and we'll talk about that. Okay, and I do want to let you know before I even dive into this, because I will move through these pieces fairly quickly, that for each of these, like adding items to a parent folder, making a course announcement, all of those things, I have YouTube videos explaining how to do them. And I can even share this with you in an email, those of you who are in attendance. I'll link to my YouTube playlist that has each of these. I have a Schoology playlist, so there's lots of information, but each of these is on there. So if you scroll down the list, like there's making a course announcement, adding items to parent folders. So I'll make sure you have these access to these videos following today in case you need to see something again. If you ever lose the email that I'll send you with access to this playlist, if you just go to YouTube and search my name, then I'm the first thing that pops up, and you just click and you can go to playlists and find the Schoology playlist. So that's how you get to it if you ever lose access in the future. Okay, so I'm going to just go on a demo course to show you some of these different things. Okay, so let's just start with adding items to a parent folder. This isn't necessarily closely tied to the email digest, however, it's just kind of good to know if you haven't ever created a parent folder before, or any folders, how to do that. So I went to courses, I went into my sample course here, and I know that you guys, your courses are tied to PowerSchool, so right now you don't have any courses unless you have some outside courses that I built for you. Like right now, your courses won't come until after enrollment. So if you're trying to follow along and get into a course at this moment, unfortunately, you can't, okay? Just because it's summertime. But you would just go to add materials, and that's where you find all the different things on Schoology that you can add, and you would do add a folder. So I would say this is my parent folder. I can give it a color, and I say create. Okay, and there's one at the bottom. You can see I already had another one up here that I had created. And so there's two ways to see the items in that folder. You can either click the arrow next to it where everything expands, or you can click into it and see everything in there. And I just threw some items in here that could be, things that you would want to share with parents on your Schoology course, and you could tell them that these resources are available to them at the beginning of the year. But if you do your own class newsletters, you could have kind of a newsletters ongoing folder where parents would know that's where they go to access your newsletters. For elementary, you could have a sample report card, PDF, or something that explains your report card to parents. Just those documents that you know parents maybe ask questions about or want to know. You could share your schedule. I like the idea of using Schoology to really build that school-home connection. And if you know things that like activities parents can be doing at home with their kids, I'm especially thinking our kindergarten teachers back there, like shoe tying activities, skills you know that they need, that parents don't maybe know they should be working on with their child at that point in time. You could send that out, but this certainly works for older grades as well. Certain activities that you're doing at school that they could practice or ask their child questions about. Video tutorials is a great idea, so for any age, if there is some sort of skill that, and I'm thinking, my mind goes to math right away, Karen, but if they need explanation on how to do certain math problems, then you could have video tutorials for them for how to help their kids, and other forms, handouts, so on and so forth. I also love that Schoology provides a media album. I don't have any pictures in there, but what a great spot to have a media album of your class also for parents to come. They like seeing what their kids are doing, so they could have a media album that they come and check in. And it's totally protected. There's no issues with Facebook security or anything like that if you have a media album on your Schoology page. It's only those parents and students that can see it, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's jump to the next one. So that was my adding items to a parent folder, and that's more for parents who only see that if they get into Schoology. They don't see that in the email digest daily. Okay, going back to the main page then, over here on the left, I have a long picture here. But with any of your courses, if you're familiar with your courses, you have the left-hand navigation side, okay? And on the left-hand side, materials is the first landing page, but right underneath materials, you see the updates option. Everyone see updates? Okay, if you click that, that's where you go to post an update that will appear on the digest that goes out to parents. So that bottom section, the recent activity, that's where an update that you post is going to show up to them. Okay, so it's just your normal kind of text editor box. So in here I would do my update. So we could say, our Christmas party is tomorrow. Bring your treats. I don't know. You guys know the sort of things that you would want to communicate to parents. So I've just typed it there. I would say post. That's all I have to do on my end, and that's going to go into that digest to every single parent for them to look through. And at the beginning of the year, if you set this up and tell your parents that's what you're doing and that's where they need to look, they're going to be getting that information. You just have to let them know that you're using the Schoology email digest, and they'll be getting that. And I kind of skipped over. We are at the district level doing as much as we can to get parents and families into Schoology. On enrollment this year, we built Schoology sign up into enrollment. So as they go through online enrollment, if they already had a login, they're getting a reminder on what their login is. If they don't have a login for Schoology, they're getting the information to set one up. Now, can parents still bypass that and skip it? Yeah, they can. But they're at least seeing that information, so we're catching more of them that way. At in-person enrollment next Monday, I have a Schoology booth. I'll be rocking another Schoology shirt, trying to get as many parents in. It is a group effort to kind of get them in there for the first time. But the good news is, once we catch parents once at any grade level, they're in for the rest of their child's career. So if all, I'll pick on the second grade, if all second grade teachers, and really we should say kindergarten, so if all kindergarten teachers every year got all their parents in, they would be in for the rest of the time, and we would only have to catch new people to the district. If you are a fifth grade teacher and the fourth grade teachers this past year did a really good job of getting their parents in, you're going to have all your parents in and ready to go for you. So that's kind of how that works. We're just trying to get everyone in, and then they're going to be good to go for future years. Okay, so I showed you post a course update down there, so I was kind of skipping around on this sheet. I'm going to show you then make a course announcement, because it's kind of the same thing, but it does something a little bit different. So let's switch, I guess. I'll just say our Thanksgiving, you guys don't do, our Thanksgiving dinner is happening this week. I don't know, I'm stuck on holidays right now. Okay, so if that's what you want to be reminding people of, and you want to make a course announcement for anyone who would be coming into your course, so parents click into your course, or even students as they're clicking into your course, you type your message in that updates field, and then you see this little conversation bubble right down there. Well, there's a bell that hides underneath that conversation bubble. If you click a bell, and then this one means that it goes out, allow parents to see this update, you would want to leave it there. And you say post. It pushes out as a regular update, so it will be going to the parent email digest. But now, do you see at the top of my course? That message is sitting up there too. So students are for sure to see it as well. So that kind of announcement goes out to parents in the update, but make sure that students get notified about it.
Now, when it updates, do they get an email saying it updates, or a text or something that says that you've updated the Schoology? Can they get that option?
Not through the parent side of things. It would come in there, the digest at the very bottom. Yeah, that's the main email that they're getting with Schoology related items. Yeah.
They still have to log in.
This is just coming to their email. Once they have their email set up for the update, they're going to get it. If they want to see the parent folder that you have, yes. Or if you have one, then yes, they would need to log in to see that. That's the difference between those two things. Is that
so you're probably gonna, if it's an emergency, you want it on.
If you want them to see it, every day, yeah, I would put it on. I would post the update and it would be emailed out to them. Yeah, that day. Okay. And so notice now that this is an announcement, it's going to stay at the top of my course, even as I switch pages. So again, if you're getting your students on a Schoology and it's something you want students to see, it stays up there until I choose to click remove, and then that announcement goes away and is no longer at the top of my course. So an announcement is basically an update that you can put at the very top of your course until you choose to take it off. Okay. All right. Let's dive into then viewing your parent members. So we're talking a lot about having parents in. Well, how do you know which parents are in your course and which parents are on Schoology and who isn't? That's kind of a key thing to know here as a teacher, because you want to know who would be getting your messages and your information. So over here on the left-hand side of Schoology, you have a members option. If you click on that, it defaults to your student members, and since this is just a pretend course, I don't have all my students, but you guys would see them all listed there. Okay? If you have a parent associated with the student, they show up in gray underneath the student name. So the student names are in blue, parents show up in gray. So you can see my student Nussbaum has parent Megan Nussbaum, 2 Megan Nussbaums associated with them. And that's nice too. The students can have as many parents associated with them as they want. So even if grandparents want to be associated with them and follow things on Schoology, you can certainly do that. So more than one parent can be connected here. So that's how you see who your parent members are. Okay, so let's say, well, like my student Cassie Medley there, I have her assigned to a group, that's a different thing, but there's no parent under Cassie, right? So let's say I want to make sure or really help Cassie's parents get connected to Schoology so that they can be getting my updates and everything. And we really hope that you guys will be advocates for that, because once you get them in, it really streamlines communication for you. And again, once they're in for the rest of their time. So what you guys can do as teachers, once you're on this members page, do you see this green box over here on the right? And zooming in, you see this button that says Parent Access Codes? All you have to do is click on that, and it's going to prompt you to download a spreadsheet. Okay? So mine's downloading here. You know what? It's probably going to bounce because it's Excel, and I didn't have it running yet this morning. And this spreadsheet's going to load. It's going to have your student names, and it's going to have their parent access codes. So what you could do is like on a parent night or an open house night or parent-teacher conferences, if you've noticed that they're not yet in, you can provide this code to them. Okay, so I know I don't have very many names up there and it's pretty small, but zooming in. Okay, there it is. So column F, it tells you right there, these are parent access codes. So Cassie here was my very first student. I would just take this code, and again, I could copy it, put it in an email, write it down on a piece of paper. In fact, I'll be providing your building, so I have a whole sheet. I didn't bring it up here. Up at the top, it says my student's access code is, you can fill it in, and it walks parents through how to sign up for Schoology and explains the parent email digest. So you'll be provided this handout. All you would have to do would just be to put the parent access code. But again, if they are with you at like parent-teacher conferences and it's just one-on-one and you're sitting beside each other, I would even say, hey, let's do this together and get you in. Here's your code, and then all they have to do, let me hop on a different browser, is go to the Schoology page. Once they have the code, they just go to the main Schoology page, and there's a login button. So you do log in, not log in, sign up, and see when they hover over sign up, there's a parent option. So, and then it asks for that access code. That's all it takes to get them connected. Yeah.
Will you have that like visually so we can send it to parents as an email?
The handout? Yes, I mean it is a PDF right now.
You know, when you have that many kids, that way, because
yeah, but you could email it to us. Yes.
If I had an email attached.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. So I have a PDF version. I built it, I believe, in Word, like a Word version you could actually edit and then save. So I could probably send both of those out to make that easier to even do the electronic version. And I'm thinking for those of you, at middle school, you have 100 kids, but you're on a team and you have your seminars split up amongst the team. So if on your team, everyone is just accountable for getting your seminar into Schoology, it benefits the whole team, and that's only 20 kids versus 100 kids that you're trying to get in, and it's a team effort. So do you guys need to see that again? Do you feel comfortable guiding a parent into getting, you just go to your course, download those access codes, and you could just do that, sometime in August. You just have that sheet the rest of the year. There's the code, and then a parent would go to Schoology.com, sign up as a parent, and put in the code. We're getting there. My guess is we're about 50 to 60 parents in, so we're making progress. But there would still be more to catch every year with new kiddos or people who slip through the cracks. Okay, so I jumped over, but those are some of the key themes really. Oh, no, course calendar. And then we'll talk about messaging within Schoology, and then we'll be done. Yes, Leanna.
So when you go in there, you see that like Cassie's parents were not in.
Mm-hmm.
You would obviously communicate with them everything you're posting through their personal email.
Yeah, until you got them in.
Until you get them in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Two different forms, and then at the elementary level, I'm used to sending a paper newsletter every week, but we wouldn't do that if we, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't anymore. You have this, and you just put it in there digitally. That saves you the hassle of sending out the paper version and wondering if it actually you got to parents. Once parents know that that they can go onto Schoology and just click in a folder to find it, I think that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Instead of being buried at the bottom of a backpack, never to be seen again.
Hey Megan.
Yes.
Is there, I don't know if you mentioned about this, is there, never mind, found it, we're gonna talk about it.
Okay. Okay, first, let me just show you the course calendar. So I'm sitting on my Schoology course, okay? And over on the right of your main course page, I'll zoom in again. Okay, you see the little calendar symbol? That's your course calendar. You can click on it and it pulls open the calendar for any events that you have put on there. Since I made it huge. I lost my little X to get out of it. Let's just refresh. Usually a good refresh can fix things. There it is. Okay, so anyway, if you click Add Event next to your course calendar, it brings up a window, and this is where you can create event. Okay, so you can set dates and times. So I'll do the 31st. Okay, if you had something going on, you can say at 11 a.m. This is our thing. It's going to end at 12. Whatever it might be, let's say assembly. Some sort of assembly that you are having that day. You can even add a description so parents know what's going on. You can bring in links. So maybe you have, like I'm thinking, oh, Slugger came to Elmont last year. And that was a fun assembly. You could even like link to a video of Slugger so parents have an idea like what's going on in the classroom. There's a lot of neat options there. Okay, so you can just use this editing box to add whatever it is that you need to. You can also add files. You can also, with almost anything in Schoology, add audio or video recording. So maybe you would want like your students to do a shout out like, we can't wait for our assembly. Record them doing that, stick it on your event for parents. There's also at the very bottom an option to have comments. Just know, you know your kids and your age. If you leave comments open, sometimes students want to get on there and say funny things. So you can choose whether you want people to comment on your event or not. Okay? And then you say save changes. Did I do my times weird? I messed up. Is it going on here? Okay. 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. Right? That would work. Because we're all going to do something still. That was way too complicated for me to sort of. So now that event you can see on the side of the course. So like students, when they go to your course, they can see the assembly. And now, since you have posted that, all you did was put it on the calendar. Going back to the email digest, that's going to be on the calendar of events that parents see when that email comes to them daily. So they've been communicated about that event as well. And once again, if they click on it here, if they click on the hyperlink in their email, it would take them to your course and they would see that video about the assembly or whatever, or any files that you may be attached to it. And you don't have to. To me, like the key thing is just putting down what's happening and when. The other stuff is bonus if you choose to utilize those features. Okay, so final thing on here that I'm going to talk about was the messaging. Is that what you were wondering about, right? Okay. So on your left-hand navigation, under course options, first off, I just like to plug this feature in case you didn't know. There's a view course as feature. This has nothing to do with parent communication. You can view your course as a student. If you're ever wondering what it looks like to students while you're working in your teacher view, use that feature. But right below that is send message. So if I choose send message, I can choose to send it to all members, which means that both students and parents would be getting it. Students, it would go to their @USD345 students Google account. So really our younger kids aren't using that email. Older kids are. They would get a notification. But parents, if you just want parents to see something, you could do your message here. So you give it a subject, type the message, you can attach files, links, and again, audio, video recording. This is a perk compared to PowerSchool, because if you've ever tried to and discovered you cannot attach files in PowerSchool messaging to parents. So if you get all of your parents in Schoology, you can attach files or newsletters to them that way. The only thing you can do in PowerSchool is a link to something.
Can you send like to just one parent?
You can do that. I'll show you how. Let me just finish one more thought on this one. So when this goes out to all parents, they do get a separate email notification about that. in addition to their parent email digest. So they would get an email that there's been a Schoology message. And then all Schoology messages, there's a nice little envelope up here. That's where you go. And the nice thing about those mass ones to parents is they can't reply all. If a parent wants to respond to you with a question about your message, it becomes just a one-on-one conversation between you and your parent, which I like the safety of that, because that reply all can sometimes be dangerous. And it also protects just information, because they can't see each other's email addresses or anything like that, which is nice. Okay, so if you wanted to find a parent, like an individual parent, once they're in Schoology, you would just go to members. Oh, actually, I thought this was going to work. Maybe it's not going to work. Okay, scratch that idea. You're going to have to search for them, basically, is what you're going to have to do. So you would search, and I'll have to see if there's an easier way to do this. I'll type in. Yep, okay, so you type in their name, and you do need to know what their name is in Schoology, but you start typing their name. So if I was going to send one to Tim Nussbaum, you go and it shows you their profile page, basically, and then in the upper right-hand corner is message. Okay, and then you can do a one-on-one message with that person. So to show you that again, unless I can find, I thought you'd be able to link to them from your members. At first glance, it looks like not. You go to your searching glass, you search for their name. Once they have a Schoology account, you can search for them all in Schoology. I wanted to do April.
So even the parents show up like that also?
Yes.
In the search.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I just went to members, clicked on their name, and it came up.
Did it work for you?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's not working for me because it's me in there.
It let me go to Sharon.
Okay, perfect. So that's good to know. Do you guys understand that? Yeah. I'm glad that it works that way. So you would go to members, you're able to click on your parent's name under student member and then message them. And that would be a direct message. So another perk for getting them in.
Now, if they have the Schoology app, because we're talking about, we have parents that never check their email.
Yes.
And so if they, like, if we convince them to download Schoology on their phone, would that still just send them an email, or would they get a notification through the app on their phone?
They would get the email if you sent a message only. You know, they would still be getting the daily parent email digest, but that would be, that would again be going to their email. I believe they would get a little, if they turn notifications on for Schoology, they would get a notification that they have a Schoology notification waiting for them.
Okay. I have Candace's post yesterday popped up on my.
And you had a little notification, so there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
So that would work also for our phone users.
We're just trying to figure out how,
Yes.
we have so many parents, like, we'll send them emails and never
Nothing.
hear back from them.
Yeah.
Most of them are running, no, they don't check.
They just, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm a few minutes over, or Karen, you have a quick question?
So on the, in that drop down box, right above parents, it says members. Does that mean that's just the students in that course?
Yes. Yeah. So members, that means student members. Admins would be if there's any other teachers besides you, who are, like if you added a co-teacher or gave anyone else editing rights, that's what admins mean. But all shows basically admins and members. It's all the same right there.
I don't think it's the same, because it has Megan, Sharon Shaw, and Tammy Wade. I think it's only important people are in there.
That's right. Okay. So the only one I didn't show you guys was adding images to parent folders, and that's just a fluff thing. That's for fun. It's not necessary. If you go back here, like that's what this is. I associated a picture with a folder. I have an elementary one out here, like an elementary map. See, you can add folders or pictures to folders, and that's just when you're editing the folder. After you give it a title, you can put a picture there in the little description box, and then you would have a folder or a picture with your folder, which makes your pages look nicer if you do have parents coming on to Schoology. Okay. All right. thank you guys for coming. I appreciate your proactiveness in getting some of this information. I am coming around to your buildings at the start of the school year to share some of this, but it's going to be a condensed version. I think I had 15 minutes, so I'm going to pick out some of the key stuff, probably calendars and updates to talk to your whole staff